Modern for Zimbabwe's tobacco sales floors for the weirdest chants you've ever heard, and they get paid for it. Expression, and I'm not sure where it comes from, but that's exactly how one of Zimbabwe's biggest exports is sold to buyers from around the world.
Ons praat van tabak, iets wat deesdae wenkbroue laat lig. Is nie meer polities korrek om te rook nie. Maar die feit is dat die gebabbel van die afslaer, uniek soos dit is, harder klink as ooit en die oes van goue blare die hoogste pryse kry ooit.
No woman should marry a teetotaler or a man who doesn't smoke. Those were the thoughts of Robert Louis Stevenson more than 100 years ago. But things have changed. Smoking isn't quite so fashionable in South Africa, and those ideas would be repugnant to many people, including, of course, Health Minister Nkosazana Zuma.
It's day 79 of the trading season on the largest tobacco auction floor in the world, TSF Zimbabwe. This year there's a shortage of the crop in Brazil and America, so demand is high and so too are the prices. And no matter how one feels about smoking, it's hard not to get caught up in the spirit of the sales, where the showmen of the floor strut their stuff and chant their chants. Auctioneers like Titch Peresu, who came onto the floor 6 years ago as a 20-year-old trainee.
When I walked through that door over there, it was like, wow, it was a completely different world. I mean, I had never ever seen anything like it.
It's a kind of soft shoe shuffle up and down these aisles. At any moment, there's 6 auctions taking place, and it only takes 5 seconds to sell one of these bales. That's how they can sell about 25 million rands worth of tobacco in just one morning. And Zimbabwe provides the tobacco for 1 in 3 cigarettes lit up around the world.
This is the larger of the 2 auction floors. The other, BMA, which is right next door, sells Burley and Virginia tobacco and has decided not to mechanize in order to create employment. By law, every leaf exported must be sold on one of these floors. So in a short season from April to October, the auction rooms come alive with activity as bale after bale is sold as quickly as possible to avoid leaf deterioration. Known as the buzzing bee auctioneer, Trevor Proctor introduced us to the system that appears chaotic, but is in fact meticulously planned to process huge volumes of fresh tobacco in the shortest time possible.
Just how much tobacco is being auctioned on this floor every day?
Dick, we receive in the region of about 350 to 400,000 kilos of tobacco in a morning, every day. Between both floors, you're getting in the region of 2.5, 2.4 million kilos sold every morning.
Now, these guys must be pretty fit.
Yeah, they do. They do. They keep very fit. I wouldn't mind doing 2 weeks myself.
Maybe you should.
I've had a look at it.
Tobacco was grown here before the arrival of the white settlers, and in fact, Lobengula, the great Matabele king, enjoyed the odd puff or two. But it was exactly 100 years ago that a member of the pioneer column planted seed beds very much like these, and eventually harvested the first substantial crop of 57.5 pounds. That's just over 25 kilos.
That's only about a quarter of one of these bales. Ironically, the weed that many find so offensive has become the lifeblood of this country. Zimbabwe is the #1 world exporter of tobacco, and as an industry, it's the largest single employer in the country. 97% of its crop is exported, and according to indications, demand is growing rather than slowing down.
Last year, cigarette consumption went up by about 1.3%. That increase in consumption is equivalent to this year's total crop out of Zimbabwe, which is 200 million kilos.
What attracts you to this industry? Is it the aroma of the tobacco? What is it?
There's a lot of camaraderie amongst us. There's a lot of humor. There's a lot of excitement. I think it's just basically the whole atmosphere. I left for a couple of years and I'm back in the tobacco industry now. I think it's something that you just can't leave. Once you're in it, you're sort of stuck, you know. And we've got blokes who, you know, have been auctioning for 25 years.
For outsiders like us, coming onto the floor is an assault on the senses. The air is full with the aroma of fresh baccy, and there's more than a touch of tobacco dust in the air as well. But for the old hands, that's no reason not to light up a cigarette and inhale a more concentrated dose.
John Maxwell reportedly smokes about 60 a day.
Maxwell.
And 40 at night. Currently passing on his auctioneering skills to young black trainees, he believes that these Zimbabwean floors are the most organized in the world.
But now a lot of our viewers will have heard your chant.
Well, on that Gunston advert, yes. It's been going since 1964.
Okay, we want to hear that ad again.
5 at 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, sold against 10.
Apart from the activities on the floors, it's the language that intrigues. Apparently it's English being spoken, but it's totally incomprehensible. Only seems to make sense to the sellers and the buyers, as far as I can see.
Peter Lovemore is one of auctioneering's veterans, and according to Titch, Peter has taught him virtually everything he needs to know about the business during the last 6 years.
All the little tricks that I know, I owe to him.
Peter, is this just the gift of the gab? I mean, what makes a good auctioneer?
It's self-confidence. It is the gift of the gab. I mean, if I look at my own background, I had this wild, and as it turned out to be, impractical desire to be a pop singer. So I put all that into my auctioneering. I'm a frustrated pop singer. That's
Well, at
really
least you've got a captive audience, eh?
Absolutely, they've got to deal with you.
Yeah, they can't leave, eh? Titch, did you have to develop, almost train your voice?
You had lip exercises and things that you had to do, like me, mammy, moo, nee, nanny, noo, lee, lay, lola, loo. Every single day you had to drum it in yourself. You would be talking to somebody trying to buy something. You'd be like, hello, so can I buy something? Do-da-da-da, dee-da-da. Something like that. I mean, you're in the bath, you're just doing it.
315, G out of a 16, 17, 18, 20 out of a static condo. 20 out of a 20 out of a.
The greatest thing is for an auctioneer to realize is these guys come here 7:30 in the morning and they leave at 1 o'clock. And through that time, you have to go through 3,800 bales to 4,000. So the thing is to keep them on the job and on the nose and enjoying their buying as they give you their bids and spend their money. They've got to enjoy it. And that's where everything comes in. And with the chant, I mean, you start off like, starts you off and it's $3. And $3 bit of a $3 but 1 bomb 2 3 4 5 but a zing zing 7 8 8 of a 10 10 occur 10 10 10 11 try to 13 15 needle no care do da 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 da. So you got to keep them into it, you know? And just by doing that.
What did that bale go for then?
Well, we've sold quite a few there.
We sold a few.
I think we sold about 10.
Peter, just show us how you use the rhythm of a song to develop your auctioneering pattern.
Okay, it's two things. It's melody and it's rhythm. Rhythm. Bum bound, da ba bone 2, da ba bone down, da ba dee da dum. Hum bound, da ba bone 2 3. Rhythm, melody. La la la, dee da dum. Will you go here? Will you go 9? Dee da on the bum. Will you go 5? There's the rhythm. There are the numbers.
And it's these basics that each auctioneer develops into his own unique brand of chanting. Each has his own fillers, which are there simply to provide rhythm. Trevor Proctor uses the words dollar bill in between the numbers that he calls.
Do me a favor, let's slow that babble down and we'll try and hear what you're actually saying.
Sound like this will go. $2.51, 2, 3, 4, $5 bid, $6 bid, $7 bid, $8 bid, $9, $2.60, $1 bid, $2 bid, $3 bid, $4 bid, $5 bid, $6 bid, $7 bid, $8 bid, $9, $30. Hey, $2.30, $1 bid, $3 bid, $4 bid, $5, $6 bid, $9, $40 bid, $45 bid, $5, $6 bid, $9, $50.
The buyers spend several years in training before they can confidently decode the babble. And according to one of them, if you haven't got a headache by lunchtime on a normal day, then you're not concentrating. Likewise, their language, which appears to be an informal assortment of nods, winks, stares, and hand signals, all happening simultaneously, is the auctioneer's biggest challenge.
You know, everything starts from 5. If we're on, let's say, 245, chap does that, that's 6, that's 7, that's 8, that's 9, that's 250. That's 249 coming down, 8, 7, etc., etc. So everything's worked from 5 upwards or downwards.
According to buyer Errol Bredenkamp, a battery of secret signals are used.
Signals. You can wink at the guy, or you can do this with your finger. And guys have got
rude son, isn't it?
Well, you mustn't make it too rude. But guys, they'll bit behind their backs and they'll do this sort of thing, and they'll tap on their belt or tap on their cheek or wink. And there's a lot of ways you can catch the auctioneer's attention.
Perhaps some measure of the auctioneer's skill is that there are sometimes up to 13 people all bidding in this strange way for a bale that will be sold in a matter of seconds.
The most difficult part is picking up the bids in the buying line as quick as you can and selling that bale. That's your hardest part of it, actually.
Especially after a hard night out.
Especially after a hard night out, yeah. Which is quite prevalent in the tobacco industry.
For the auctioneers, the day ends at lunchtime and the floors are prepared for the following morning. The speed in which the sales have taken place is almost reckless and the volumes recorded are staggering. And for this season at least, the buoyant mood on the floors has not been dampened by the anti-smoking lobbies around the world.
Tobacco is a buoyant and prosperous industry and looks set to remain so for quite some years to come.
As long as Dr. Zuma doesn't have her way.
Yeah, no, you keep her. You can hang on to her.
Well, we've got over our time to go, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Ja, dis ons so nie